Hello, everybody, and welcome to the NuWhoZone's NuWhoZone and StreamYard. It has gone completely bonkers there. Tried to play the trailer twice. I even left a gap in between to see. I don't know what they're playing at. They better fix it. I could see me avatars going crazy as well. I don't know what is going on, but I hope you can hear me. So for anybody that's new, that's watching, obviously get your copy of The Witches Familiar ready. So if you have Doctor Who Series 9, pop it in your DVD player, your PlayStation, your Xbox, whatever you're watching it on, and get The Witches Familiar ready to go. We are joined by a couple of our panelists. So without further ado, we'll bring them on so we can get straight into this. Also, just before we do start, actually, we've decided that for Classic Who, we're going to change the format up a little bit because, you know, like New Who, we normally do the episodes, the stories for Classic Who, and then we talk while we're watching. This time, what we're going to do is we're just going to actually talk about the story in question. So for Classic Who, that's what we'll be doing. We're changing the format, freshen it up a little bit because we've watched... Let's be honest, I think over the last 5 years, I think we've done nearly every single classic episode and story that's available. So there's no point of actually doing the same thing over again. So this time we'll try something slightly different and we'll just talk about them. So come and join us for that chat. That's Classic Who's on Wednesday at 6:30. You can see there scrolling across the schedule for the channel. So everybody is informed. So let's bring on our guests without further ado. We've got royalty on the channel as we always do. It's the one and only Queen Charlotte.
Hello, everybody.
Next, we have PD Rich. Well, we hope
if he wants to come on.
let's do that again. Next, we have PD Rich.
Bonjour, mon Capitan.
There he is. There he is. I'm telling you, StreamYard's doing my head in. And here he is, fashionably late, but he's just made it just in time. It's the one and only Problem being the guy that you notice when he's not going to turn up for streams and stuff, you know. That's the guy right here that's arrived now. How are you, mate?
You're right. All right, how are you?
Did you enjoy our weekend?
Yes, I had fun. It was good. Good.
Very good. Well, we're glad. You missed a lot over the weekend. A lot of the trailers and all dropped. So Friday Night Contact, we'll have plenty to talk about. Can I just say before we start this stream, oh my God, I was not expecting the Flash trailer to be as good as it was. That's the reaction from a lot of people, actually. Everybody was blown away by the trailer.
Yeah, but take out one element, and then I think that trailer would be a lot worse. It's very clear what was the good element of that trailer.
Well, yes, to see Ben Affleck back, but my favourite part of that trailer was the middle of it when Michael Keaton's Batman appeared. And that whole scene was just brilliant. And then he dives down and you see him fighting. I go, holy shit. And then Affleck's bleeding Batman comes along then on the bike. And I'm like, holy shit. Look, yes, we know we'll talk about him more on Friday. Obviously, the big elephant in the room is Ezra Miller. But even in that trailer, his performance, it looks great. I have to be honest, but this is the dilemma that we're actually in. I was talking about it with Dan from the Space Book on Twitter. He's conflicted as well, just like I am, because I swore I was not going to watch this movie. Now, as it stands, I'm still not watching. But the more I've watched that trailer, the more I want to actually watch the movie. And I that's the moral dilemma that we face, because if we either take a stand or we just end up being hypocrites. So Dan did make a good point. In certain circumstances, we do try separate the artist from the individual. But even he said there's a limit to that. And what Ezra has done and has been charged with, it's not anything petty. It's actually really, really serious. So, I think it's a thing we'll talk about on Friday. But look, people are giving out about Amber Heard as well. So, I mean, can't be hypocritical one way and demand that she's taken out of Aquaman 2. But we will get into that next week, or Friday, I should say. Well, actually, the end of the week, because it's the start of the week. We will talk about at the end of the week with Lee, if of course, and Chris will be joining me, and we'll dissect the whole lot of this. It'll be interesting to see what people think. But what the reaction that I've seen overwhelmingly has been positive for the trailer itself anyway. Not Ezra, but the trailer has gotten positive reaction. But we will delve into all of that on Friday, so come and join me for that. So if everybody in the chat could do me a favor and press 1 so we know that you are all ready. And then what I'll do is I've got it ready to go as well. So what I'll do is I'll just make sure that I have everything in place that I need in place to start this, so we're not behind or anything. So we'll see what happens. So PD has put a 1 in. We'll just wait until some of the others, like TARDIS. Time says he's ready anyway. So, but if there's anybody else in the chat, and I see there is a new YouTuber in the chat there, just went and had a look at the channel to make sure it's legit. It has videos and all on it. They're called, where are they there? They're a young YouTuber, looks like, fan of Sonic the Hedgehog. They've just popped into the chat. Sometimes they're called Watchable. So they have videos up on YouTube there. So they said hi. I'm a YouTuber. Hello. Congratulations. So there you go. It's nice to see different people, different age groups on YouTube. And I am obviously make sure that your parents, especially if you're a younger YouTuber, your parents are monitoring your YouTube account and making sure that you're safe. Because that's what it's all about, isn't it? So we got a few ones in there, James, TARDIS time and stuff. And I think everybody on the panel is ready as well. He's all ready. Lee, you ready? You got it up, ready to go and all, pal? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, that's what she said.
Right. Without further ado, Queen Charlotte, I was going to let Lee do the old countdown there, but you got a bit cheeky with me there. So, Queen Charlotte, without further ado there, you can do the countdown. It's not worthy of Lee this week. Go ahead.
Oh, he's been a bad boy. So
he's been
5,
bold.
On a naughty step.
Wow.
4, 3, 2, 1, go.
Previously on Doctor Who. My name is Davros. You did, Doctor. You made Davros.
That's basically what the stories are all
Well, I
about.
think that's what Stephen Moffat was trying to tell us. So does that mean technically
Shut
that the
the
Doctor is responsible for every single death in the universe, that the Daleks
I
and
don't
every
think so much the
genocide?
Daleks. I think he's just like they're trying to tie him and Davros more as sort of different sides of the same coin, a bit
Yeah.
different.
Well, you're
sort
right.
of-
They're quite similar, Davros and the Doctor, except one chose the evil path, one chose the good path, you might as well say. Just like with the Master and the Doctor are similar, but the Master chose dominance over the universe rather than use his skill for good and his brains for good.
And also, like this, it comes up in this episode. This idea of compassion is what marks the Doctor out, and having that
Yeah.
morality.
Flashback.
Oh, I forgot this flashback. It's nice.
Yeah, I love these flashbacks.
Bill Horton and David and
Yeah.
Tom
And I
Baker
love how
there.
Missy's just like, oh, we'll just stick with eyebrows to make it easy.
Missy is just brilliant in this episode, man.
Oh, she has some amazing lines in this episode.
One.
It should bring Missy back, man, because I love Sasha. I love Sasha, don't get me wrong, but I don't like the fact that Chibs he didn't obviously acknowledge her, but the redemption arc kind of thing. if Sasha is a continuation of her, which I think Chibs tried to make clear. I don't like that idea, because I did love that redemption arc. I know people won't like that redemption arc with the Master and stuff like that, but I loved it. I thought it was brilliant. I was just hoping she'd stand side by side with the Doctor, and then when she finally decided to, he never knew.
Yeah.
And that pissed me off. Moffat.
Because I just love this dynamic in this story that basically, like, Clara's now a companion to Missy. And just to see that different sort of attitude of Missy just absolutely playing Clara, and that's what she's doing. She's using her, she's playing her for her own means, and Clara's sick, so she doesn't realise that, and she just falls into all the traps that Missy lays out in front of her.
That's how Missy didn't die, everyone.
Yeah, but hang on. Right, I can understand that Missy didn't die, but how was she able to get Clara to live? See, that doesn't make sense. How did Clara live? Clara should have died then.
If Missy slapped a teleporter on her, she would have lived, but she didn't.
Unless she slipped something into her pocket or something.
That's the only way I can think.
Yeah.
Oh, for God's sake, I forgot about those
The
monkeys.
Moffat moment.
Because he's clever. That's it. But that's it. That's true. It was the same in the Stolen Earth and what was it? Journey's End.
Yeah.
When the Doctor was captured, all the companions kicked in, man, like his own little personal army.
Yeah.
That's the point, man. When the Doctor's in danger, same with River. Remember when River showed up in the Impossible Astronaut episode and all, and the rest of them all met in the calf, and then the Doctor comes out, but they all think the Doctor is dead. He summoned them to help.
Yeah.
Moffat did write some good stuff. It's just in between all that good stuff, he just confused the hell out of a lot of people.
Yeah.
And I don't think he had an idea where he was bringing some of the stuff himself. But this theme tune is growing on me now. I still don't.
It's not on me.
Not the worst.
Bloody hell, no. It still sounds like a cat being strangled.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't like the graphics. I hate the fact that he didn't use the time vortex.
Yeah. As I said to Cinnamon last week, I said the full version I prefer. I don't really like the shortened version of this theme.
I cannot wait to see what RTD gives us.
But I don't know if I sent it to you. I sent it to some people. Somebody did on YouTube. Obviously, very much inspired by Murray Gold, but their own like orchestral theme for the 60th.
Oh,
And
that's
it
where
was
the gun comes
lovely to listen to that because it was obviously the inspiration was there, but it was a different take on Murray Gold's music.
Yeah.
I do find it odd that they've not announced the composer yet for the 60th. I really thought that would have been released by now.
Yeah. Yeah, still haven't told us who the new composer is.
Yeah, I just find that odd. Like we
Yeah.
know a lot of the other backroom and sort of main staff to do the
Yeah.
60th, but we don't have a clue who's doing the music.
I know why Murray was so beneficial, though.
This is my favourite part coming up now where he comes in on the Davros chair.
For dodgems, anybody?
Yeah.
I have that Dalek. And you know what happened? It fell off the table. Yeah. And the fucking one of the plunger broke off it.
Oh.
Yeah. I was devastated.
Special
man.
weapons, Dalek.
Yeah. Speaks.
Listen, Moffat. That's what I loved about Moffat. He'd throw in these little Easter eggs. Like we'd get who they were. You know, the other fans wouldn't have a clue unless they watched Classic Who. Brilliant.
But also, I think compared this, I think was it Asylum when he tried this before and it didn't work. I think in this episode, having all these different designs works a lot better because it makes a bit more sense.
Original Daleks there as well.
Yeah,
Love it, man.
I was lovely to see them all just together.
Is just brilliant. In fairness, he's have all had this exact nightmare.
Yes.
He's brilliant, man. Look at him.
You know Peter's just having fun in this scene. He's absolutely just enjoying the moment.
Yeah.
He's got he's got a story with Davros, and we know Peter's the fan he was. That would have just excited him so much.
Yeah.
now
he's got Daleks, like he'll be like that. He would have been like, oh god, it's this Dalek, it's that Dalek on set.
Yeah.
No, this is where she pushes. Yeah.
Yeah, I quite enjoyed that moment.
Yeah, we all
I wonder why.
I enjoyed watching her get shot last week.
No, but it's more satisfying her getting pushed down a hole. Let's be honest. Especially when it's Missy doing it.
Yeah.
Especially as like it happens and then you hear her say so many feet. It's just like, of course now you know how many feet it is.
Yeah. Trigger happy tanks.
Peter's just such a tour de force in this episode.
Oh, he's brilliant this whole season, mate.
I know, but I really feel like at this point, it's like he was fully settled a bit.
Mm.
And
yeah,
really
that's why after Series 10, he definitely should have got a couple of more seasons, man. Yeah. It's a shame.
Yeah.
It's a shame, man. We were robbed. We were robbed of an era, in fairness. Because I think after Series 8, the mess of that, Series 9, I think they did get the tone of his Doctor spot on, and you are right. You settle it in.
Can you imagine it under... Can you imagine it under Chibnall, though? No.
Oh, my God, no.
No, but think about it. If Peter had stayed, there would have been no episode, The Woman Who Fell to Earth. He would have wrote something completely different for Peter.
And I've always said this, on the levels of skill of his writing, which is still very low, Chibnall writes blokes better. He just does.
But in fairness, if he had wrote the way he wrote Children of the Earth, season 3 of Torchwood, I think it would have been decent actually, because Peter was brilliant in that, and
Yeah.
remember, Peter's not the big main star in that series, but the parts that he had, I don't know. I think if he hadn't got his head full of agenda and wanted to cast a female doctor, and he had to stuck with Peter, I think we would have got something different. Would have been better. I don't know. That you're right there. We would never know. But if he had the level of writing that he did for season 3 of Torchwood, I think we would have got a pretty decent season.
Yeah.
I'll defend. Look, Chibs was shite with Doctor Who, right?
Oh yeah.
I could say that. He did a movie about my football club called United. It's heartbreaking. He got the tone absolutely perfect. I love him for that, right? I also love the fact that he did write season 3 of Torchwood and did very well with it. I thought it was actually very well put together, very well constructed. Now, granted, RTD was in the background, but still, he produced decent fucking scripts, right? And that series is classed as one of the best, is the best series of Torchwood, people would argue, is season 3. So he has his strengths. What baffles me is for Doctor Who, he didn't use his strengths, and he didn't use Jodie Whittaker's strengths either. He handicapped himself before he even wrote anything on paper, which is baffling.
Cut his own legs off.
He did. Look, he's not the worst writer in the world. He's done shows that we've all watched and we've all praised him for. Doctor Who, he got it totally wrong. Will he recover from this? I don't know. Jodie Whittaker doesn't seem to have recovered from it. Her first new job is not a job that everybody expected her to get.
Hey, Chris Berger.
Hi,
so
Chris.
Be interesting. Good evening. Good evening. I know that happens with me as well sometimes, Chris. I leave out a letter. It's fucking annoying, isn't it? Good evening, Noel, Charlotte, Lee, and PD from our head mod, the one and only Chris Persia.
Got to say though, I do find this whole sewer idea really creepy.
It's creepy. See, he had
really
creepy ideas. Moffat could do creepy. Moffat should have stuck with creepy.
Oh yeah, because this idea of course the Daleks, they don't need a sewer. So what's it going to be? Basically, decrepit, horrible, dying versions of Daleks.
Remember, he has showed us an asylum of the Daleks. And now he's shown us so he's given us a bit more information about the Daleks and how they treat their
oh yeah, like when they're no more
stock,
useful,
as you would call it.
When they've done their purpose, what happens afterwards? And I think for me, an asylum still doesn't make sense because they just kill them, or I think actually leaving them in this sewer to die horribly, slowly, in the dark, forgotten. That's more Dalek.
Yeah. By the way, she's wired up with Dalek Eye. Dalek camera. Remember them from the first episode?
Yeah.
The Daleks. That's cool.
Restricted area. Seriously, I love the Daleks.
Well.
And I love how like Clara's meant to be making noise and she's not. It's like being a rubbish bait.
Do you know what? I was just the whole Missy. Listen, as you all know, I was originally against the fact that the Master had changed gender as well. Right? Now, over the years, obviously, we've spoken about this when we do Doctor Who streams. I think we've spoken about it quite a lot over the last 4 or 5 years, yeah? I can finally say now that I'm 100% comfortable with it. It was Lee's explanation, though, of it, which is the most simplest explanation, But it also kind of throws away the argument that the J-bots were having over the Doctor. The thing about it is that, as Lee said, the Master is master of disguise, right?
Yeah.
And what would be the ultimate disguise? Changing gender.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
You
also
know?
you got to mix in with that. The Master's incredibly petty.
Yeah.
So think
Yeah,
about
vain.
it's really petty to change your gender to basically fool the Doctor. That's
Yeah.
all it was.
Yeah.
Like that's incredibly.
Yeah, because you remember
Yeah.
in the reveal, when she reveals herself first, she's actually flirting
That's what I
with the
mean.
Doctor. And then when the Doctor realizes who it is, you see the Doctor's feel very awkward then. Kind of
Yeah.
takes a step back and is like, what the hell?
Well, you see it in this story. Like we were saying last week, you started to see her reaction to Clara getting more attention.
Yeah.
And now in this episode, you fully see what that did to her because of what she does to Clara. It's like it almost has vibes of like a vengeful ex
Yeah.
trying to get one over on the current girlfriend a bit.
Yeah. That's why it's
Because
called
she
the
knows-
Witch's Familiar as well.
Yeah, because she knows exactly what she's doing with Clara in this episode. It's all to punish the Doctor. It's
Yeah.
all to get back at the Doctor what she does.
Flashback to the Daleks.
By the way, filming is well underway. There was Christmas stuff spotted, so I think he's filming the next Christmas special. Not the one that he already has filmed, but he's filming the next Christmas special now.
I don't know because it looked like we could have got Rosie's first some entrance-ish with the TARDIS, and I would have thought.
By the way, Ruby, what's her name? Ruby what? Ruby.
Oh, the actress.
Yeah, Ruby What's her? Ruby Sunday, is it?
Millie.
What's her name?
Millie Gibson.
No, our character.
Ruby Sunday.
Yeah, Ruby Sunday. So saw something today, right? And there seems to be a connection. So Minto Road was mentioned, right? And anybody that knows what Minto Road was, in the parting ways, Mickey Smith goes to Jackie, have you tried the new pizza place on Minto Road? Well, that actually features in Doctor Who.
Oh.
Also, another one now is that the popping up. It looks like the companion is named that. So there's a road called Ruby something, right? And it's connected. So there's speculation is here, right? And it would actually make sense and be deadly in a way. But what speculation is that Millie's character is actually the Meta-Crisis Doctor and Rose Tyler's daughter.
Oh no, Russell, do not do that.
Uh-oh.
And she's obviously left that dimension because something's happened or whatever, and now she's with this Doctor. That's the
I would hate
rumor.
that.
Now,
I'd
listen,
absolutely hate
I
it.
will say it's fan speculation, right? It's not that I've gotten. It is actually fan speculation. Now, I will say, Doctor Who fans lately have not had very great success with their theories. Let's be honest about it.
Yeah.
And the ones that the Radio Times actually quote are the usual suspects. So I wouldn't be listening to anything that comes out of their mouths because they're always wrong. But that isn't it. I found that one fascinating. I don't know, man. I know you were saying don't do it, Charlotte, but I find that very intriguing.
No,
what
because-
happened, Rose? What happened to Meta-Crisis Doctor
No.
for Ruby Sunday to come to this Doctor?
No,
And will it end with
Shooty's era needs to
Doctor
be its
saving
own
them?
thing. Shooty's Doctor's era needs to be its own thing. It cannot be a
Hey,
load of
Christian.
callbacks to 2005.
Yeah.
That's what the 60th's for.
Gotta
I'm
move
sorry.
on. Gotta move on.
That's what the 60th's for.
Yeah, no, I agree. But if you're looking at the filming footage that we've seen so far, and you see what's being reported, I have to be honest. This is something I spoke about with Christian when we did the TARDIS talks last week. You know, there seems to be a lot of throwbacks to his
Like,
first era,
Loose
and I was
connections.
saying it could get to a point where there's too many. We don't mind a few references because obviously he's going to reference his previous era. But if Shooty's whole era is just a reference of RTD's past era, it's not going to work. We said that before anyway, and I'm in agreement with Charlotte on this one. It won't work. It's not going to work. I don't mind the odd reference here and there. That's it. Moffat did it. At first, he was very casual about the references, but then, as you see,
he got excessive about
he got excessive then, and we were actually getting bored of that. So we don't want that.
And also, I'm sorry, that's just boring.
Yeah, I agree.
Have her be her own character.
It's lazy as well, I think.
God, yeah.
I don't mind a few references here and there, as I said. I think all Doctor Who fans, we do love it when there is a throwback or there's a throwaway line somewhere here and there. But if you're going to start, the Minto Road one, though, was very fascinating because Mickey, see, this is why they're all getting the connection now, because the Mickey Smith saying to Jackie about the pizza place in Minto Road, then the TARDIS goes to Minto Road, and then they go to another road that has Ruby in the name. There's a connection somewhere, man.
There probably is, but as long as it's not so much of a direct one, I don't mind.
I hope not. We'll see. It'd be fascinating though if they did. This scene though. Yeah. Did Missy know whether she was gonna die or not? And this would have explained how Souffle Girl ended up in the bleeding Dalek though.
Yeah.
See, this was an opportunity for Moffat to actually go full circle with this, you know?
I honestly, I think watching this episode again, it gave me the vibe of he wanted, like you said, this idea of exploring the Daleks more. And we get that lovely explanation of Missy when she says, the Cybermen take away emotion, but the Daleks harness it. And this idea of actually all that violence and killing and all of that actually comes from emotion, and they're ruled by it a little bit.
Yeah.
And I find that I love that scene when Clara's saying certain things like "I love you," like she says to Clara, "Say I love you," and things like that. And you get the Dalek freight. You hear what the Dalek's saying, and what exterminate actually means. I actually find that's what. When you're harkening back and talking about law stuff or things like that, when it comes to that way of doing it, like we get in this episode with the Daleks, I actually love that type of version of it. Because having just a bit of an exploration of Dalek psyche almost a little bit, or how they work a bit, they're creatures, they're monsters, I don't mind that. But it's when you get too much with human characters, I lose interest. Whereas if it's a Dalek, if it's Davros, that I think you can mine a lot.
Yeah. It's gonna kill them.
Quite interesting as she says that, Daleks reload by channeling their emotions, to say exterminate makes it fire. I think it's quite interesting.
That's what I mean. I think it's a really fascinating, different look. And it's made but it makes me think back to, and this is what I mean by when it's done right, I don't mind. I did think back to Tennant's Doomsday episode when he has that line. No wonder you scream so much. You're trapped in a tin case.
Yeah.
And I thought that's what I don't mind. That sort of, it's building, I think, on what was said in that episode. A lot of the stuff here about exterminate, why they hate other races so much and stuff like that. Charlotte, my queen, if we're not using member berries going into Gatwa's era, why do you think he's bringing back Dr. Scooby Gang? For the 60th, Christian, I'm all for it because it's a celebration. It's meant to be looking back. It's meant to be looking at past glories and what the show's achieved. So, of course, for the 60th, have Donna, have Tennant, have all those references. But when Shooty comes along, it's the 15th Doctor. It's a new Doctor's era. We've gone past the 60th at that point. So the show needs to move forward afterwards. It can't keep looking back. That's why Shooty's era needs to be going forward in every sense. Story, characters. Because that's the thing, like, if Russell wants to have some villains, sure, they can come back in their old faces, because that's sort of what
some of us can afford the upgrade.
Yeah, there's still little lines.
Oh, I know.
Still, though, kind of fits her profile, so, you know.
Yeah. Still.
Oh, yeah, egotistical.
She's a narcissist, yeah.
That's what I mean. So it kind of makes sense there. I mean, if she kept doing it and kept saying it, then you would agree with that assessment. But yeah, poor Bill Potts.
For the doctor to say it, no.
Pearl Mackie suffered a bit, but she was still great as Bill Potts, though. She had her moments.
Oh.
I was going to say, and she has a killer line in a bit where she literally refers to herself as the B word. So
yeah, she said that already. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
She said, "Tell him the bitch is back."
Yeah, and I'm just like, yes, that is perfect.
Yeah, that was funny when I called her Ruby Tuesday instead of Ruby Sunday.
Yeah, well, that's
Do you know what my honest feeling is?
Yeah.
I would not be surprised if Ruby comes from the same area as Rose. Would not be surprised in the slightest.
I don't know. Rose had blonde hair. She has blonde hair. There's just too many. She dresses like her mother. Like, people have, even when she was first announced, the first thing people said, she was like Billie Piper. That he was basically casting Billie Piper 2.0, actually, if you remember. Even in the early days, people were thinking there was something there with her.
Yeah, but that's just because she was a blonde actress.
I don't know, though. She was wearing the denim, like fucking Rose has wore denim before. You know, the t-shirt, the style, the way she dresses, she kind of dresses like the way Rose would dress. I don't know, man.
See, I actually think what we've seen of her on filming is very different to Rose's sense of dressing.
Here we go.
He's going to open his eyes.
This scene was diabolical. I remember the reaction to this actually was...
I don't think he had eyes left.
Yeah, like they would be bloodshot, but they're not even bloodshot. You know?
Yeah,
so I'm putting this down. I'm putting this down as a perception filter. So that's how I canonize it.
Well, also you can add to the fact that this whole, so many of these scenes before, Davros is trying to trap the Doctor. He's trying to get him to do what he wants. So this is the whole opening the eyes, for me, came across as this is just a last-ditch attempt to get the Doctor on side.
Yeah, so but maybe... physically it shouldn't be possible. So it has to be a perception filter or something. Yeah. It has to be a perception filter.
Shouldn't have been. He had no eyes. He had no eyes. His eyes were gone.
But an attack.
I think Ruby's going to be a connection to a memory buried.
And he's crying is what no.
Yeah, crying is, like I said, I understand sort of story beats, what's happening, but it does come across very on Davros-like. Like I said, what I do find interesting about these whole scenes with the two of them is like you're trying to work out what's truth, what's Davros actually saying with a tiny bit of truth here, and what's he lying through his teeth about. Because, like I said, this is all to try and get the Doctor to go on that platform and to give him the regeneration energy. It's all he's after. So it's like this sort of... It reminds me almost of two, like, predators circling each other.
Yeah.
Seeing who goes first, who does the first move.
Yeah.
Nah, this scene never sat well with me though.
Yeah.
Up until that point, the episode was brilliant.
Yeah.
That I just can't get the fact. It just throws me off that he has eyes.
Yeah. They were burnt out by an explosion.
I mean, in fairness,
That's why he has the artificial eye.
if he has put artificial eyes in, man, even with that, he still wouldn't be able to open his eyelids.
Yeah.
Yeah, and also, like I said, they're very human-looking eyes, aren't they?
Yeah.
Because they're the actors, I'd assume. So they could have done a bit of something, like you said, made them
They were
bloodshot
completely
or
white or something, yeah.
yeah.
Scarrow. Oh yeah, because when he gives him the regeneration energy, he's done something already. So he knew it
Oh
was.
yeah.
At the same
Generating
time,
sewers,
he held them, but he knew that there was a chance that Davros would double cross him. So he's always a step ahead. Peter's doctor
He
was
That's what the whole
always.
thing about the beginning part was
The
about.
one thing I'll give Moffat
Yeah.
in the terms of that style of writing, doing it that way, like he was very clever. I mean, Sherlock is a perfect example of that. So yeah, there's rumors that that's coming back.
Oh, I don't want that back.
Well, both of them have agreed, but it's going to be one cast member less. So I don't know how you replace Mrs. Hudson.
Yeah. Unless I think out of respect they probably wouldn't try.
I don't know. I was thinking if they really wanted to get someone and they were really stuck, probably go with what's her face, Julie Walters, great British actress. She's probably that age now. She'd play a great Mrs. Hudson, I think. Remember, Martin Freeman and Benedict had a falling out, so the fact that there's even talks, I think they've settled their differences. So
yeah, and also I think there was stuff to do with Benedict's schedule, wasn't there? He was so stacked the last couple of years with Marvel and everything.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, there's some. I love some of the Doctor's lines in this when he's like compassion always if I can try and stuff like that.
He pumps into the sewer.
he was hoping at this point.
Oh yeah, it does have a bit of an echo of John Sims' Master with David Tennant's a little bit, but it's different. But it's that same sort of the Doctor will never completely discard anybody.
Oh.
Even if they've done the most horrible things, he will. It's like with Missy at near the end, after what she tries to make him do, he doesn't. He tells her to run.
Yeah.
Which is a kindness, really, because he's basically saying, "I'm so angry with you. You need to get out unless I do something I regret." I love the laugh he gives now, Davros. This actor's so good at doing that laugh.
Yeah, Julian Bleach.
Yeah, he's so sinister. It's brilliant.
Hybrid.
How much of this energy is being taken from him from future regenerations?
Oh, it's all right. He has 2 million, so it's all
I was
right.
going to say, yeah.
Oh, that's
at the
true.
current
Yeah, I forgot
time.
about that. Yeah.
How about that?
Thanks, Chibnall.
Well, he does say, but before he puts himself on the part thing, he says, "Oh, I think he says in the future I could lose an arm or leg." Or he says something to that effect. So that
Yeah, but
implies
you know what I
it's
didn't like
future.
about
So
I didn't-
Chibnall knocked that off as well. You know, the Cybermen, Cyber Time
Yeah,
Lords.
but what I don't like about what Moffat did, Moffat was cavalier with regeneration energy
He
and
was.
regenerate. You know what I mean? I didn't like that. When he started introducing that the Hill Rivers that bleeding wrist and all of that crap, stop, get away.
He basically
Right.
made
This
it a
office dead.
superpower. Moffat really made it like a superpower.
Bottom
And it's
line
not a
is he has
superpower.
12 regenerations. When you get to 11, try figure out how he gets another fucking 12, end the fucking story.
Which he
Right.
did.
But this is weird. All the Daleks should be coming out of their casing as Carlids. They're regenerating.
You can think of a couple of fan explanations to be like, oh, because it's just some regeneration energy, it's not enough, or
Yeah.
because it's been mixed with Dalek, it doesn't do the full effects that it does to a Time Lord, like fan stuff.
The Daleks
Oh,
regenerate.
could you imagine what a Scarrow or Gallifrey would look like with a big budget now?
Oh, it'd be amazing.
Oh, to be honest, I'd be more interested in Scarrow. Way more
Same.
interested in seeing a proper Scarrow.
Yeah.
Oh, like considering what PD said, I'm surprised in none of the New Who we've not had a Khaled yet. I'm really surprised they've not gone back.
Yeah, and we haven't seen. We also haven't seen what happened to the Files. We haven't seen the Files in ages.
Yeah, I'm very because maybe like that's even though I'm like for the 60th, I'm a bit like yeah, there'll be Daleks because they're in the comic strip.
Yeah.
Actually, that would be interesting for the 60th to have Khaleds.
Yeah.
Instead of like the Daleks we know.
Yeah.
Have the toy maker magic some up or something, I don't know.
Yeah.
This is where he got him.
What happened to the Files though?
I love this.
You regenerate the sewer.
I love Capaldi's acting now, though. It's like proper teeth, and he's like almost snarling, isn't he? You could tell how angry he is here. Like you said, Davros failing him, thinking Clara's dead.
Yeah.
Moron, I love it.
Because this is what I meant, like, how he's acting here comes across to me as a more refined version of what he was doing in Series 8.
Yeah.
It's just been slightly tweaked and written better.
Yeah.
But it's that same sort of cold detachment, but fury at the same time.
This fake eye.
This is why he was one of the best doctors, man. We were robbed.
Shit Daleks, shit Daleks.
It is
we
a
were
bit
robbed.
It's like a Coke poo.
Seriously robbed.
Laugh if she shot him. I'd laugh it if Missy got to shoot him.
Daleks has had that before.
They have said it before.
I was thinking that. I was like, they said it's a river.
Yeah.
I think this was one of the Moffat also was guilty at times of forgetting what he'd written.
That's
Like,
it.
it was like, no, Moffat, you've forgotten your own episode.
Please.
Missy, run.
That's what I mean. You could see he's like giving her an out there. He's like, you know what I'll do. Just get out.
She's trying to find out who the hybrid is.
Yeah, well, if you say something like that in front of Missy, she's going to get interested.
Yeah. Dalek control is full of shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Standing in the TARDIS.
I love the effect in a minute. It's gorgeous when it all comes.
Hads. And Ray-Bans went up in price.
Cringe.
Yeah, this is a bit of old man humour coming out, isn't it?
Yeah.
In fairness, that was a pretty impressive effect.
It's lovely.
I did like the way Moffat. He's got to see a lot of the TARDIS in the Moffat era. Actually, that's what I loved. The TARDIS in flight as well. Oh, you're screwed. Or are you?
She's Missy. She's not. She's got a plan.
Cop out. Fucking Moffat.
Is it now called the shitty of the Daleks?
Yeah, the shitty.
Dalek shitty.
Yeah, they have a restaurant called Shitty Walk.
Shitty walk.
On the planet Skidmark Row.
I could just see that.
And it's on the Tord Road.
Turd rock from the sun.
I could just see that moment in Destiny of the Daleks now where he picks up the music and goes, ugh, it smells like shit. Tom Baker going off on one about everything for like crap in Destiny of the Daleks.
And knowing what Tom could be like with his language on set, it probably would have happened.
Like an effing sewer.
Yeah.
We did this Christmas specials during the Christmas period and did Voyage of the Damned already.
Yeah.
He was doing this because he was hoping that little bit of compassion that he showed might change Davros.
Yeah.
Or at least when it came down to it, he would show some compassion.
Yeah.
It's a nice idea, but I think Davros was irredeemable.
Yeah.
So if I was the Doctor, I would have killed him there and then.
Yeah.
Well, it wouldn't make
I
it.
know there's consequences to that, and other races and people could die and all of that, but that's a risk you would take.
Oh.
But that's not in his character.
Does Davros give his screwdriver back and change history?
No, but he saved them because the Doctor is all about compassion. It doesn't matter how evil you are.
Yeah.
Yeah, but also there's a bit of the motive for Clara. It's not just that. He does literally do it a little bit so Clara can do the whole mercy
my
thing.
favourite two-parter is coming up.
Yeah.
I love this. I love this two-parter, actually. What was it? Under the Lake and...
Below.
Or the Flood.
Something.
Yeah.
Oh, that's it.
Yeah, this was a good episode, man. These were good episodes. This was good, man. The Serious 9 is definitely the height of Peter Capaldi there. Have to be honest. But let's get straight into it. Guys, you in the chat, give your ratings, of course. You know yourself. 10 is the highest you can give it. And obviously 1 is the lowest. So we'll start with Queen Charlotte. And then we'll move on to PD. And then we'll let Lee have the last say on this episode. Anyway, so go ahead.
Yeah, so a bit like last week's, I forgot how good this was until I rewatched it. I was really pleasantly surprised because I really loved the Dalek. I forgot how much they explored the Dalek psyche a bit and what makes a Dalek. I think that's interesting. Missy is just, I think putting her with Clara was a really clever idea because you see her being able to play Clara and like fully show how manipulative she can be. Because she can never quite fully manipulate the Doctor, but she could definitely do it to Clara. So it's nice to see that. I think Peter's, because so much happens to the Doctor in this episode, he really gets to show off his range. From anger to happiness to hope to compassion, like all those different emotions you see. I really also think Davros is interesting in here because you have that whole thing in the back of your head, like I said, that what is a bluff, is he saying to the Doctor? Like, what's he actually lying about? And what actually is a bit of truth? Because I do find sometimes when somebody's trying to convince somebody or like get somebody on side, which is what he's trying, they now and again let slip a couple of things that actually they believe. So trying to work out in those sort of conversations, does he actually have a tiny bit of respect and he's being a bit truthful there? Or was he actually having a bit of a moment of, yes, I'm happy you found Gallifrey again? Like, you don't quite know because it's Davros. And I find that fun just as sort of as my own thing, just to watch it and think, what's what? Yeah, but obviously, I think this is Moffat once again. If I go to the negatives, he's playing a lot with Davros' history here, with the eyes opening. And like we said, that doesn't make any sense for what we know. The sort of going back to him as a child, I didn't mind it in the first episode so much because it wasn't so much of an impactful thing. But here he actually is quite messing around with Davros as a kid and trying to make him better. So that has implications because how come suddenly if Davros as a kid had that idea of mercy, how come the Daleks never showed it before? Because retroactively, that would have been part of the Dalek makeup. But yes, they still went on and murdered and did genocide and did all those horrible acts. But now we've got to try and work out they had mercy in them because of the Doctor's actions. So I think Moffat sort of did that thing which he was guilty of now and again of overstepping. And I think this was an overstep, really. I can sort of see for story reasons why he did it, but he didn't really think of the far-reaching implications, I think, a little bit. So I will give this, like I said, the Davros stuff does knock it a bit. Do you know what? I'm going to give this an 8 because I gave last week's an 8 because I knocked off a couple points for other things. So I'll give this one an 8.
Fantastic. PD.
Yeah, I just got to have a feeling about this one. It's one of those episodes that's, it's trying to be so clever, but it coming out a little bit stupid, if you know what I mean. And there's also just little tiny subversions of canon in it. It's a good episode, generally. But I just feel it's just subverted canon a bit too much. Especially, as I said, with the Davros mercy thing. I can understand, but that's what the word mercy got into their vocabulary. But it's like they've said mercy before, and it's been done before. It's been done in classic Doctor Who. They've been kind of ousted at the last minute. It's just, how do you put it? It's like, those Moffat's trying to be so clever, it's coming out stupid. And at the end of the day, is this why she the Doctor regenerated Jodie Whittaker? Because he dumped a load of energy into Dalek sewer. Came out effective. Yeah, I think I'll give this one a 7. It's a good episode, but there's just a few little too many canon violations for my liking.
Fantastic. Lee.
It's a bit like the anti-genesis of the Daleks story for me. It's how not to do that kind of story. I mean, what really happens in it? The Davros puts the Doctor in a trap to give him some regeneration energy to regenerate the Daleks, and that's it. There's no other plot. There's just nothing else going on. It's just a really long, drawn-out scene spread out over an entire episode. It just, nothing happens. Really, nothing happens. Honestly, look at it again and tell me what is actually going on other than that. And then, the Doctor knew all along that there's sewers under the Dalek Citadel, so obviously they would regenerate and rise up. How, really? I mean, I missed the first episode, so I can't really remember it from the first time I watched it, but how does he know that? Like, Clara knows, because she was down in there with Missy. Yeah, but how does he know that there's Daleks down in the sewers?
I know, but it's supposed to be always one step ahead kind of thing.
Well, he was there with his other doctor, but he was there with his other doctor, Matt Smith's doctor, in the Asylum of the Daleks. Wasn't there sores there?
Very beginning.
Daleks in the walls or something there, so he would have previous knowledge.
Yeah, City of the Daleks.
It's very, very loose.
Yeah, I agree with you, Moffat. That's the thing. He'd write some complex stories, but then actually, when you actually say it out, but when you say it out loud about this story in particular, the second episode was just basically those two chatting.
This could have been done in one episode.
It could have been,
and it would have been faster. I mean, look, some good ideas, some great moments with Missy and insufferable Clara.
Clara was actually decent.
Not so insufferable.
Yeah, but she knows exactly how the Doctor survived, of course, because she's Clara. Missy was great as always. Capaldi is great. I think Bleach in this was a bit, it seemed a bit. I don't know how to put it. I mean, I like Julian Bleach's Davros, but I liked it under the RTD era more than this, because I think this is he's trying to play it.
I was going to say,
like a lovely actor, darling.
Yeah, he was.
I get that, but Davros is not a sympathetic character,
that's why I don't think you like it, and I agree, it doesn't work. Davros.
I think that manic craziness that he had as well was gone. Like, we got to remember that he's clearly a madman, genius.
Yeah.
So
where was the shouty?
Yeah, that's what I mean. There's none of that. That's the way we see him now under the RTD. You're absolutely right. He was completely different. The tone of his Davros was completely different. I don't mind him playing Davros that way, the way we've just seen now. If it's part of the shouty part as well, he can also do the kind of sinister, fucking speeches and all of that, and dialogue. That's all well and good, but yeah, man. I mean, look, I still like it. It's still a good two-parter to me. So I'll let you give
what's
your
your
rating.
mark,
It's a
Lee?
one-parter. It's a one-parter that spilled into a two-parter because I had to have
What
a
would you give it?
cliffhanger, and then they just spun out this episode for one scene, basically over a full episode.
What would you give it? It's a tough one, isn't it?
4.5. 4.5.
Oh, you're actually going that low?
It's
honestly believe it's
entertaining,
below
but
average?
it's pointless. It's pointless.
Okay,
Yeah, I think it's below.
Okay, no, that's fair enough. Fair enough. I mean, I wouldn't. I don't necessarily agree with Lee's rating, of course. But we all have different opinions. I do get his point, though. He does make some valid points about it is a drawn out fucking plot over two episodes. It could have been fleshed out. I actually said the same about the monk. Actually, that's fleshed out over 3, but you could have got that done in a whole one episode, though. You could have really got that done in one episode. At least 2, not 3. You didn't need 3.
I think.
He does. No. He does. You're right, but. Do you know, I still enjoyed this. I didn't like, obviously, Davros opening his eyes. I've never, that didn't make any sense to me. And I remember the uproar.
It's inoffensive.
At the time.
It's inoffensive. Yeah. It's inoffensive. So, that's it, It's a bit of fluff.
In fairness, I still enjoy this 2-parter. And I'm going to enjoy the 2-parter next week as well. And I know the next week's 2-parter has a few flaws in it as well.
Yeah.
But it's a great story. This is not, look, it's not the most complicated story, as Lee said, but I think, for a Doctor Who episode, a Doctor Who story, Peter Capaldi's performance, Michelle Gomez's performance alone.
Performances are great, but, ultimately, it's a character study, not a story.
True, but I'm still going to give it a 7. Because I did enjoy it. I'm not going to lie. I've been enjoying Peter Capaldi's era a lot more than I thought. I already liked season 9, as you know, and loved season 10. I never liked series 8, but we watched it again, and I actually found myself even enjoying the most ridiculous episodes that were in that. So, I mean, look, the one thing I will say is the Chris Chibnall era has made me appreciate. I already appreciated Peter Capaldi, but I think it has made me appreciate the Moffat era slightly more. I will agree with Lee. The Moffat era is by far, it's not perfect by any stretch of the imagination. I mean, we talk about plot holes. I will give Moffat one thing. Near the end, he tried to tie up as many loose ends as he could, and I'll give him credit for trying that. That's the difference. Chibnall just bottled out and didn't address any of the plot holes. But that's the thing. Be under no illusion. The Doctor Who fans were already complaining before the Chibnall era that the show had lost its touch because of the plot holes. So having RTD back, when we had... I think the reason why a lot of fans, especially myself, are kind of willing to give RTD benefit of the doubt is because when he brought Doctor Who back, that to me is a perfect era. I'm sorry, those 4 seasons, it doesn't matter what your favorite season is, but within that, if you look over those 4 seasons, how many bad episodes can you actually name? I can name less than 5 anyway. I could definitely name 3, but the rest, in my opinion, were great, and I'll name the 3. Right? You have the fucking Olympics one.
Fear Her.
Fear Her. You had what's the other one? The one with the magpie.
Idiot Lantern.
Yeah, that one. That's absolutely ridiculous of an episode. And I'm not putting Love and Monsters in there, by the way, if people think, because I think there's worse episodes than Love and Monsters. There you go. But I'm going to pour in, actually, if I was... Actually, it's a 2-parter, but we'll put it in as one. Evolution of the Daleks, and that second part with the human. It was an interesting idea.
Oh, yeah, the American one. It was set in
America. The American one. Didn't like that. So to me, they're the ones that I can name.
Daleks
off now.
Manhattan.
Now, Daleks take Manhattan.
Evolution.
Yeah, that.
First
And
one,
Evolution was poor. It was a great concept and a
Moffat is
great.
not good with Daleks. He doesn't really seem
But that wasn't
to know
Moffat,
what to
though,
do
was
with
it?
them. No, I'm talking about with this episode.
Yeah,
You know,
but
it just doesn't.
it doesn't. You're right. Moffat never really respected the Daleks. Not respect. I don't think respect is too harsh a word. But I
He
don't
respected
think
them. He just couldn't write them like Lisa.
yeah, I don't think he understood them fully to be the way RTD did. I mean, that first ever episode in 2005 series 1 Dalek. I mean,
to be fair,
RTD
that was Robert Sherman. I always say his surname wrong.
Yeah, Sherman.
Yeah, but it was in the RTD, but spot on and how they got the Daleks remained consistent in the RTD era, except when you got the God of all Daleks and all of that fucking, what was it? Fucking,
Oh yeah, in
Satellite 5.
Yeah, he referred to himself as the god, didn't he? God of Daleks.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he was the God of all Daleks because they sifted out the billions of cells from humans. We used us as a fucking petri dish. The Daleks did to get a 1 in a billion cell. See, but we remember all of these things from the RTD era. This is why I think a lot of fans have connected to RTD this time round. Because because if I'm being honest with you, I don't think it has been Doctor Who since RTD left. Remember, Stephen Moffat's was a soft reboot, and it never really felt like a continuation of the RTD era, in my opinion. It never did. It always felt like a soft reboot. Now, I'm not dismissing Matt Smith or Peter Capaldi. They were brilliant doctors. And within the Moffat era, we got some of the best Doctor Who stories that we could ever wish for as Doctor Who fans. But I think this is why a lot of fans are so hoping that RTD succeeds, because there's a special connection with him, because we haven't had that connection with Moffat. And we haven't had that connection definitely with Chris Chibnall, but we do have that connection with RTD. And I think not only for newer fans that came along that are fans now still to this day, but us as classic fans as well, he managed to bring us on board on this journey of a lifetime, or this trip of a lifetime. And, I'm grateful to him for it. And I just hope he succeeds. I really do. I don't care about the naysayers anymore. I don't care who has what opinion, right? Bottom line is I'm looking forward to it, and I'm going to give it a go. And if it's everything that I think it'll be, Doctor Who's going to be okay, right? And then we can sit down and watch every Saturday night. And then when we come on, then we don't have to give out about a fucking show that we love. Because that's been the hardest thing for these last few years, is to criticize something that we grew up with. And I just want RTD to make it successful again. And I believe he will. And you know what, as I said, I don't mind a few throwbacks to his previous era, because that should be celebrated, because it was a successful era of Doctor Who. But don't make it the whole thing for Shooty that it's just reference after reference, because that would be unfair on Shooty. Shooty deserves to be his own Doctor, doing his own thing, and not getting involved in past and stuff like that. You know what I mean? That's what it's about. So we'll see what happens, but I'm looking forward to it. I have to be honest, I still am, and I can't wait. We're getting closer and closer, but this year is going to drag in, folks. Because when you're really excited, looking forward to something, it drags in. So we just have to hope in the meantime that he drops a few more things. There's still a few more things to be announced. So we'll see when he does that. But remember, we still haven't gotten a full proper trailer yet. There were teasers that he threw out. So I wonder when we'll actually get a proper trailer. Do you know what I was actually? I thought.
Easter.
But do you know what? I was actually thinking last night we might have got a Jordan Super Bowl, because Disney obviously, put ads on Jordan the Super Bowl halftime. So I thought we might have got something there. I was actually looking out just in case, because I stayed up I did to watch all the trailers and see all the trailers, and I was just hoping that they drop a Doctor Who one just out of the blue without telling anybody, because that would have been amazing. But obviously it didn't happen. But yeah.
Well, Doctor Who's dead over in America. That's the problem.
So they say. And
and
they're
also,
right.
You've got to remember, Russell's got this other show.
Yeah,
you're right though. Promoting Doctor Who.
Yeah, it's
He's
dead
got
in
Nolly,
America.
I think it's called. Like that's happening
Nolly.
In the
that's
UK.
on ITVX at the moment. Yeah.
So he's not even. I don't think Doctor Who currently, like as in, I'm thinking promotion wise, is on his mind at the current time. I think he's
still writing, still they're filming, so he'd be busy.
Yeah.
I can't. Oh man, next few weeks and months is going to be very exciting.
But
look, we'll do the channel shout outs. We let everybody go and get off and enjoy the rest of the night. So without further ado, we'll start with Queen Charlotte as usual. So Queen Charlotte, if you want to do your shout outs.
So you will see me on the Spacebook. We are back with Type 40 Live. I don't quite know what Thursday show is, so I can't really preview that. But come and see us for the usual craziness and laughter and whatever topics we talk about. And then you'll catch me here on Classic Who and New Who.
Fantastic. Lee.
You can find me at The Problem Being on Twitch, and my other channel is Aldred Audiovisual. That's Aldred, Audred, Audiovisual.
Fantastic. PD is putting the links in, but PD?
Yeah, you can find me in Rabbi's Chat at the weekends. That's the weekends now, not during the week, because I'm busy. And I just want to shout out Christian Basil, our other co-presenter, who comes in on was it Fridays now, is it?
Yeah, Fridays at 5:45, so we'll be doing that now, yeah.
Yeah, so I just want to point him out.
Fantastic.
I think that's about it for tonight, or else I'm going to have a list of things to find.
Mondays is New Who, 7 p.m. Tuesdays is member streams, don't forget, so we have one tomorrow. Wednesday, Classic Who Zone, 6:30. Friday, the TARDIS Zone talks at 5:45 with the legend of the traveling TARDIS, Christian. And Friday night contact with Lee, when he feels like doing a stream these days. And my other co-host, Chris, as well. And Lee knows I'm only ripping the piss out of him.
Well, I've come to be used to it, quite honestly.
So that's it. You've gotten used to it. I'll tell you off now when we go off here, so don't worry about it. Only messing. Anyway.
We will be also back. Subscribe to our good friend Noel Clark as well. It annoys YouTube.
Yeah, he does have YouTube, so go and
do that.
subscribe.
Yes, do it. It annoys them.
Yeah,
like annoying people,
annoys a lot of people. It does.
Good.
It does.
Always good.
And we like that. We like that. You know, so some people out there still don't understand the concept innocent until proven guilty. You know? There you go.
So
anyway,
we just annoy them.
That's it. We'll wrap it up there. We'll be back tomorrow. Yeah, come and check out tomorrow's stream. We're going to be talking aliens, government hoax, all of that.
It's a conspiracy, I tell you. It's all a conspiracy.
So we're going to talk about that. There seems to be something going on in the skies around the world. But is this, the question I'm asking is it a government conspiracy, a government hoax to distract us?
When isn't it?
Are we really being invaded by aliens? Because my message to any alien out there is simply this: get into your fucking get into your UFOs, get into your UFOs, and get the fuck off this planet.
Yeah.
Because
you'll be forced.
Because what's going to happen is you'll be forced. You'll be forced into all this gender ideology, right? So they'll tell you that there's different sexes in your species.
They're colonizing us. No, they're colonizing
and then they'll pronoun you. So live. Unless you're coming to make slave of us all, I'd gladly be an alien slave at this stage. I think we all would. Rather than live under the left's rule, I think aliens come down, you take us over. I don't care. If you let us live in our homes and you want us to work for you, I'm down with that. Right? Just take the left. Could you do that for us, actually, if you are listening? ET.
The radical left. Let's be.
Yeah, the radical
careful
left.
with
Could you
the
take all of the
word.
radical left, please? And while you are at it
And
as
the
well,
radical right. Any
yeah,
fucking
and the radical right as well. Leave all of us normies here. And while you are at it as well, you can suck up all of those stupid, ridiculous statues as well that they've dotted all around the world as well. You can take them with you as well. And then you can put them on a planet then. They can do whatever the fuck they want there.
Yeah.
They won't last. Civilization will collapse and they'll soon die
No.
out. Anyway.
No. What's the difference between a conspiracy theory and the truth?
The truth is lies. The conspiracy theory is the truth.
No, about 6 months to 5 years. It always comes out in the end.
It's a good one, but that is true. A lot of these people that were saying that people were conspiracy theorists, well, these are words now.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway, let's hope we don't end up in World War III. But if we do, it's nice knowing you all. And as I said, ET, if you're out there and you're listening, either take the radical left and the right or just come down and invade us, and maybe then humanity might come together and snap out of their buzz and realize that there's more important things to be concentrating on, which is an alien invasion, rather than upsetting someone because we mispronounced their pronouns or some mad shit like that. Yeah. Anyway, I'm gonna go now because I feel a rant coming on.
Yeah, please. God,
I don't want to rant.
He's just like, no,
Yeah,
God,
I want to watch the second half of Liverpool and Everton anyway, and hope that Everton beat Liverpool, and I'll be happy. Anyway, see you later. Have a good one. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.